Carry on.
These were the names of pots in which alcoholic drinks were prepared. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned the container of wine and he meant the wine itself. The Prophet ﷺ further said to them, memorize them, these instructions, and convey them to the people when you have left, whom you have left behind.
طيب, I think we have little time, but otherwise I have a description how to make wine and how to, is it used, but it's not going to help you. But this is what every culture has. If you go to the native Indians, they have a special pot where they put the juice. And by the way, in Arabic, it's called nabidh. Now, nabidh, some people think that it is wine, and it is not. Nabidh comes from the origin word of nabadha, to leave or to drop. And the Prophet used to love the nabidh, alayhi salatu wassalam. What do you mean? He used to, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, ask them to put in water a date or some raisin. Because when you drink it, it has a sweet taste to it. But he used to tell them to keep it only for 3 days and afterwards to spill it out, throw it away. Because if you keep it a day longer, the possibility of being intoxicating would arise. And this is why the people of Mecca have something called subia, if you ever heard of it. And subia is made of the same process, but some of them crooked people of Mecca leave it for a couple of weeks. So they tell you, you want subia juice or something that may pinch your tongue a little bit, and they mean that it is already intoxicating. This is why the difference among scholars of thought. The schools of thought of Abu Hanifa say that it is permissible to go beyond the 3 days. So the other schools of thought accuse Hanafis by drinking intoxicants. And they are not permitted to do this, because not necessarily that the 4th day it will be intoxicating, but there is a possibility. So it is best to know that after or before the 3 days that you get rid of it. Okay?
Chapter 37. What is said regarding the statement, the reward of deeds depends upon the intention and hoping to get rewards from Allah Azza wa Jal. Narrated Umar bin al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu. Allah's Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, the reward of deeds depends upon the intention, and every person will get the reward according to what he has intended. So whoever emigrated for Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then his emigration was for Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And whoever emigrated for worldly benefits or for a woman to marry, his emigration was for what he emigrated for.
Now this hadith, as stated before, is one of the most greatest hadiths that all rulings of Islam revolve around. Because nothing is accepted at the side of Allah without intention. And what do we mean by intention? Al-niyah means al-iradah wal-qasd. Niyah is when you intend to do something and you aim on doing it. And this means that the niyyah is where? It's in the heart. If I'm not mistaken, only the Shafi'i madhab calls for uttering the niyyah. And this is against the sunnah. If there is a plate of biryani in front of me, I don't like biryani, but just nasi goreng. If it's in front of me, when I want to eat, do I say, Bismillah, nawaitu an akul nasi goreng special? Do I? Or I just go ahead and eat? I just go ahead and eat. Likewise, if I want to enter the bathroom, do I say it verbally or it's in my heart. So the niyyah is in your heart. What you intend to do, you intend to do it. Everything in Islam is in your heart. You do not utter it verbally. You do not say, I want to go to the bathroom to do number one. You just go. You do not say, nawaitu an asum tomorrow. You just eat suhoor. Khalas, this is an intention. You have a firm intention in your heart. The only thing that we may utter is in Hajj. When you say, labbaik Allahumma hajjan. That's it. But this is not a niyyah. This is talbiyah. And it's a sunnah. And if I do not say it, my Hajj and Umrah 100% valid. So you have to understand this. What is the importance of niyyah? Niyyah has two meanings. One, who do you intend by the act you're about to perform? Is it Allah or is it the people? So this is related to ikhlas, sincerity. It differentiates whether I am doing ibadah for Allah or I'm doing an act of shirk. This is part one of what? Of niyyah. Part two is to differentiate between acts. So I'm praying for rak'ah. After I finish, was this dhuhr or asr? It's for rak'ah, but I don't know. You didn't have the intention. La wallah, I didn't. So this is an issue of dispute, whether your prayer is valid or not. Why? I thought it was agreed upon that it's not valid. No, it is valid. Ibn Taymiyyah says when you go to the masjid and you pray without intending that this is for dhuhr, yet you're intending that you're praying the prayer of the time, this is sufficient. Because so many times we finish salat, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is dhuhr or asr? Oh, it's dhuhr. It's dhuhr. Did you make intention? Wallahi, no. Repeat it. Ya Allah. And I keep on repeating, salah, repeat. You open the door for OCD. Obsessive, compulsive, disorder. Do not laugh. Half of you have it. Half of you have it in wudu. Half of you have it in answering the call of nature. You go to public toilets and you wait and the full thing is full, closed. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. What is this? You open the door, it's closed. And people are inside and there's people doing this. And then people are jumping. And after half an hour, one comes exhausted. What's wrong? Galahi, I was urinating. Why this long? You're not an elephant to urinate that long. He said, Wallah, I have this obsession. I feel that there is one drop more, one drop more, one drop more. This is shaitan. Obsessive compulsive disorder is the disease of today's time. If I show you the questions I have every single day from such people, you will be sorry. Wallahi, you will feel sorry. I get people calling me daily from Europe. Wallah, every single day, daily, not day, daily from Europe calling me with this illness. Sheikh, I got married, but I think I divorced my wife. What should I do? Wallah. And I said, I don't know, what do you mean? He said, I keep thinking in my mind that I divorced her. So I'm so mad of it. Can I divorce her so that I can feel rest? And Wallahi al-Azim. Others have OCD in actual marriage. He's married and he has children. And he calls me 2-3 times a day from Europe. Another person. He's saying, Sheikh, Wallah, I know I have brought problems to you. And I want to just be safe from these whispers. I don't know if I repented from my premarital relationships before I got married or not. So I don't know if my marriage is correct or not. So I'm thinking of divorcing my wife and doing a new aqd. And you get people coming with such allegations towards their trading, towards their ibadah, towards their Islam. He doubts his Islam. So OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, is everywhere. You have to be careful. How can I save myself from it? Knowledge. The minute you have knowledge of Quran and Sunnah, you say, laugh at someone else, shaitan. Don't laugh at me. Shaitan is messing with your mind, is playing with you, making your life difficult. And this is why we have to find a way out by learning more and more of our religion. So, the second type of niyyah is to differentiate between ibadah, dhuhr or asr, 2 rak'ah, is it fard or sunnah, and also between ibadah and normal things. I go and take a shower. Is this to uplift my ritual impurity or just to be cool? If it's to be cool, then my wudu is invalid because I did not perform wudu. But if it is to uplift a major ritual impurity, then my wudu is embedded. And this is a mistake that a lot of the Muslims do. They take a shower after playing in the gym or when it's hot. They take a shower without wudu and they leave and go to salah. Hey, Tal, where are you going? He says, pray. Did you make wudu? No, I took a shower. It's not sufficient. You have to take wudu. Why? If I make ghusl after having intercourse or after a woman has menses, she makes ghusl, does she have to make wudu? No. Then why? It's different. Here it's a ritual impurity being uplifted. So the minor ritual is included. But here is nothing, it's just a shower. Wudu has to be in sequence. You have to face, arms until the elbows, wiping the head and the feet up to the ankles. The order is needed, and simultaneously is also 6 pillars or 6 conditions or processes of wudu. It was not implemented. So a lot of the people don't have the knowledge of this. Niyyah is extremely important to know that. And with your intention, you can reach the highest levels of paradise, even if you have little deeds. And this is why Allah's great favor upon us. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wassalam, in Medina, there are people, no matter where you go or march or cross a valley, they are with you and they will be rewarded as you are rewarded. So the companion said, we are the army. We are marching in the deserts and they are in Medina. How can they be rewarded as us? So the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, they are in Medina, but they were prevented from joining you due to a legitimate excuse. So Allah gives them the same reward that you have because of their niyyah. And this is why a sister comes and says, I'd like to make umrah. I'd like to go for hajj, but I do not have a mahram. Say, you cannot go. It is prohibited. I have millions and millions. I'm a rich woman. You cannot go for umrah or hajj. You have to have a mahram. But the good news is, Allah Azza wa Jal will give you the reward of your umrah and hajj just because of your intention. Your disability allows you, with good intention, to have the reward, insha'Allah. طيب. At the end, it talks about migration, and we spoke about migration yesterday, and we said that to migrate the location and to migrate the sins as well. There is a third type of migration, is to migrate the sinner. This is boycotting. But and you don't have to mention it now, maybe inshallah you know about it. طيب. Go on.
Narrated Abu Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, if a man spends on his family with the intention of having a reward from Allah Azza wa Jal, sincerely for Allah's sake, then it is a kind of almsgiving in reward for him.
So this hadith talks about the niyyah. Again, if a man spends on his family, between brackets, with the intention of having a reward from Allah. Now, we all go shopping, right? We all fill our carts from the supermarket with food. And all of us have their jaws dropping when we come to the cashier and pay. If you anticipate the reward, imagine how beautiful our religion is. If you buy things and you keep in your mind that this is sadaqah, Allah would make it and reward you as a sadaqah. But do we do this? We go back and complain to the wife. Look, it cost me so much money. You and your children eat a lot. Of course, I am fasting all day long. The food is mainly for me. I buy the juices, I buy the cookies, I buy the things that I love. What I buy for them is the essentials. You have to have the good niyyah in everything you do. And this is why scholars say even when you drink coffee, you have to have good niyyah. If I drink coffee after Isha with my niyyah to stay awake so I can pray 2 rak'ahs for the sake of Allah, drinking coffee is sadaqah. If a person has intimacy with his own wife, Allah considers this a sadaqah. Smiling in the face of your brother is a sadaqah. But unfortunately, we don't have this. We don't think of this. We always think of materialistic thing. Give and take. Why should I smile? So you have to always anticipate the beauty of charity, whether physical giving or something that is not tangible. This is a responsibility that you have to make and have to pay, because paying the rent, paying electricity bill, paying the mobile phone, paying the groceries, all of these are expenses, but have the good intention and it will be all sadaqah for you. Move on.
Narrated Jarir bin Abdullah radiallahu anhu, I gave the bay'ah, pledge of allegiance to Allah's Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam for the following. First, the offering of prayers perfectly. Second, to pay the zakat. Third, and to be sincere and true to every Muslim. That is to order them for al-ma'ruf, that is Islamic monotheism and all that Islam orders.
Can I interrupt you? Let us go for the previous slide. I just remembered one of the sisters asked me yesterday about giving in charity. So what are the limitations of giving in charity? Is there any limitation? Yes? What? Who's saying yes? No. Chicken. Okay, it happens, in the best of us. Let's come back to charity. Some scholars said that there is a limitation for charity, and this is 1/3. Some said 1/2. Some said no, 2/3. And if you go to the hadith of Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas when he was sick, and he said, "O Prophet of Allah, I'm on my dying bed, and I have only 2 daughters. So can I leave a will of 2/3, leaving it and leave 1/3 to my daughters?" He said, "No." He said, "Half?" He said, "No." He said, 1/3? He said, 1/3 and 1/3 is a lot. Ibn Abbas said, Because of this, I would prefer that you give a will only of 1/4. But the majority of scholars say 1/3 is accepted. So some scholars said you may give charity of 1/3. However, if we look at the doing of the Sahaba, Umar radiallahu anhu once said, today I will compete with Abu Bakr and I will win. Every time I compete with him, he wins. So he brought half of his wealth and came to the Prophet and said, O Prophet of Allah, this is sadaqah. The Prophet said, what did you leave for your family? He said, I left similar to it, meaning 50%. After a while, Abu Bakr came and said, O Prophet of Allah, this is sadaqah. The Prophet said, what did you leave for your family? And Abu Bakr said, may Allah be pleased with him, I left for them Allah and His Messenger. Meaning 100%. Umar said, by Allah, I'm not going to compete with you. What is this? There's no way I can compete with Abu Bakr. The Prophet ﷺ said, by Allah, no one's wealth ever benefited me as much as Abu Bakr's wealth. So Abu Bakr came out of his wealth 3 times in his life. Now, compare apple to apple. How many cars do you have? How many houses? What's in your bank account? All of it, give it for the sake of Allah and begin from 0. Can you do that? Can you give 50%? 25%? Ya akhi, 10%. So it depends on the iman in your heart. So the scholars say it differs from one person to the other. I can immediately give everything I have for the sake of Allah. But I know myself. After 5 minutes, I'm going to start clapping my face. What have I done? Or not now, maybe a couple of days later when I need something, or my child needs to go to the hospital and I don't have money, I start to regret, why did I do this? How stupid was I? Scholars say no. If this is your iman, keep the money. But if your iman is high, you are a productive person. Some of us only can live on the salary. We do not know how to gather money, to invest, to collect. Whatever salary comes, this is my only income. I tried to make business, I lost. I tried it again, I lost. I'm a failure in business. Some of us, no. Can fall and stand up tens of times a day. Abdurrahman ibn Auf, may Allah be pleased with him, came to Medina with 0 credit. Sa'd ibn Rabi' told him, I am the wealthiest man in Medina. Half of my wealth is yours. He said, may Allah bless your wealth and your family. Show me to the market. You don't have a thing. Just show me. He went to the market. He bought on credit. The first day, he made profit. He gave the credit. Now he has a capital. Second week, third month, he's a billionaire. How did he do that? Corruption. No, this is barakah. He became a billionaire without crossing any red lines, without bribes, without usury, without lying, because he was one of the 10 heaven bound, the 10 best people on earth after the Prophet ﷺ. So don't tell me that you cannot be rich by being a Muslim and honest. But this is not for each and every one of us. It's not our cup of tea. I'm one of the people who is a failure in business. I cannot invest. I don't have anything to invest to begin with, but even when I had money, I enter into transactions in business, it fails. To manage, it's not my money, I can manage it. So to be a manager, to be a director, to run things, I'm good. But my own personal money, I'm not good. There are people who are the opposite. They cannot work in corporations or in management or in companies, but to do on their own, MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Serious, sincere, honest, and Allah puts blessings. So it depends upon you. Now, the best of charity, the Prophet says, alayhi salatu wasalam, is to give when you're healthy and you are loving the money. Yani you give it, but you're miserly. You feel like, So the best charity is that when you give, you fear poverty. So I'm giving, well, I'm afraid, am I going to get some or not? And you wish for being wealthy. This is the best of charity because you are going against the tide. But I would not advise you to go out of your money, because keeping your family, your children well off, this is the best of all sadaqat. So a dinar you give to your family, a dinar you give to your servant, a dinar you give in the cause of Allah, the best of them is the dinar you give to your family. The Prophet said that. So always think of it and balance it this way, and inshallah this makes it clear. Go ahead.
Chapter 38, the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, religion is an-nasiha.
What does nasiha mean? Nasiha has two meanings. The well-known meaning to Arabs and non-Arabs is advice. الدين النصيحة. قالوا لمن يا رسول الله؟ قال لله ولرسوله ولكتابه ولأئمة المؤمنين ولعامة المؤمنين وخاصتهم. So this is advice, but also there is another meaning which is very important, and it is relevant to this hadith and the hadith before, which is sincerity. يا أيها الذين آمنوا توبوا إلى الله توبة نصوحا, which is sincere. So an-nusх can be advice, and it also can be sincerity or purity. Nasah al-asal, if it is pure, the honey. When it's pure, we call nasah. So here, the Prophet is saying, alayhi salatu wasalam, to Jarir ibn Abdullah, yes, I gave.
Jarir ibn Abdullah radiallahu anhu narrated Jarir ibn Abdullah radiallahu anhu, I gave the bay'ah, pledge of allegiance to Allah's Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam for the following: the offering of prayers perfectly, second, to pay the zakat, third, and to be sincere and true to every Muslim. That is to order them for...
Full stop. Okay. This all is not from the hadith. The rest. The hadith is, and to be sincere to and true to every Muslim. Full stop. Khalas. The explanation you explain it from your mind, not from the translator's mind. So this is part of the pledge of allegiance. We, when we accept Islam, praying, fasting, zakat, but to be sincere in advice and in my relationship with other Muslims, this is not included in our agenda. Jarir ibn Abdullah al-Bajali, he was one of the late companions to accept Islam. What also is he known for? He's famous for something. I should sit until they find out. Huh? What do you think? Something related to the signs of the hour. Huh? He's very well known for something he saw when he was traveling in the ocean. Dajjal. Huh? Or Tamim al-Dari. So, again, you lose. So, Jarir ibn Abdullah is among the late companions of accepting Islam. And this is why whenever he narrated something, the companions approved of it, because it was at the time of narration of revelation of Surah Al-Ma'idah. And this means that it was the last. Nothing abrogated it. So whatever he narrated, they approved it to be the last and the final. He is telling us that the Prophet took the Pledge of Allegiance from him to be sincere, to give advice to every Muslim. Whenever someone wanted to buy a horse from him, he would say the truth. It was reported that he told his servant to sell a horse. So the servant came and he said, I sold the horse. He said, how much? He said, 800. Or sorry, he bought a horse. He said, how much did you buy it for? He said, I bought it for 400. He said, by Allah, it's worth more than that. Come, let's go and meet the seller. So he went with his servant to meet the seller. So the seller, when he saw him, he thought that he wanted to return the horse. So he was a little bit afraid. So Jarir said, how much did you take for this horse? He said, 400. He said, are you okay with that? He said, yes, I'm okay with that. He said, no, it's worth more. I'll give you 600. Are you okay with that? Yes, I'm okay with that. He said, no, it's worth more than that. It's 800. Are you okay with that? He said, are you crazy? You're giving me double the price. He said, yes, because I took the Pledge of Allegiance from the Prophet ﷺ to be sincere for every Muslim. Ya Allah, what kind of a religion is this? Do we deal with Muslims like this? When you sell your car, would you tell the buyer that, listen, akhi, the engine has a little sound, ticking sound in it. I'm afraid it might be the valves, so I'm not sure. You have to check. If the valves, I'll pay for it. Will you do this? Will you tell him that I had an accident, but I fixed the body paint, but it's not the original body paint. So this part is damaged and I fixed it. This reduces the price. Would you say it ahead or not? Inshallah. Allah, I pray to that. And this is cascaded in everything. When someone wants to marry your sister or daughter, would you say that, wallahi, she is this and she is that? Or you, mashallah, beautify her. She's the best woman in the world. You have to be sincere. Love for your brother what you love for yourself of goodness.